Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another happy hour with the Maestro. As you can see, we're kind of in casual mode today because with the low country heat being what it is this time of year, I thought it would be fun to sit in the backyard. Of course, it's a virtual backyard, but it's still a backyard here in the low country. And we do have a drink, which we always have. And thanks to our virtual weather person background, you can actually see it. And this is befitting my outfit. You can't really see what I'm wearing, but this is a guayabera, which is a Latin shirt, which in some Latin countries is almost called a Latin tuxedo. It's worn a lot for formal events, and they're very, very comfortable. And Rich and I, our guest, who you will meet in just a moment, will talk a little bit about some of our adventures. So this is called the Maestro Martini, and we're going to have the recipe come up. And it is sweetened with a non-sugar product. It actually was stevia because the Maestro does not consume sugar for health reasons. I have an allergy to it. It's no fun. All right, let's take a taste. Wow, brings me right back to Mazatlan, Mexico, which we'll talk about later when we have our guest. Before we bring our guest out, I first want to thank our sponsor, Maestro Wines. Again, if you'd like to do a virtual tasting, we would love to do that. It would be a lot of fun. Or a wine tasting at your home with social distancing. We could certainly do that. We also want to thank the Boeing Company and its associates for their support over the years for us, the Gaylord and Dorothy Donnelly Foundation, and the South Carolina Arts Commission. If you personally are a business owner in our area, we would love to get to know you. And if you're interested in sponsoring one of our really important programs, especially the crucial Pops Kids program, where we provide education to students in the North Charleston area, please contact us, and we would love to talk with you more. Well, without further ado, I would like to introduce our good friend. He's my good friend, and he's your good friend too if you've been to hear the North Charleston Pops in the last several years. He's performed twice with us. Please welcome to Happy Hour with the Maestro, Rich Ridenour.
Rich! Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Ya?
I'm fine.
Great.
You're my favorite maestro.
Oh, you're so kind. Are you serious?
My favorite Martian, that almost came out, but probably yeah. Martian maestro, they're probably about the same.
Yes, we are kind of otherworldly. There's nothing like us. Oh my God, or at least we think we are.
Yes, you know, when you do host the planets, there should be a maestro planet.
I think that it's the 12th planet, or yes. I don't know. It's a world. It's a world. So, you know, I have my drink, and I know that you have a very special drink. Tell us about it.
I do have a drink, and it's called Maestro Wine. And now, wait a minute.
It's not.
Yeah, it is called Maestro Wine. Now, in your introduction, I overheard you say that there's a Maestro Wine in North Charleston?
Yes, this is my company.
Oh, it's your company?
Yes.
You could have talked to me first. Okay.
I know. I thought it would be a surprise.
Yeah. Now,
but yours is called Maestro Wine. That's amazing. It looks like maybe it's not a wine you could buy at a store.
It is not a wine you can buy in the store. It is a Pinot Grigio variety, and I make it myself. There are no sulfites, and I just get a neat little kit. I add some yeast to it. And in about 25 days, I have 2 cases of Pinot Grigio that will last me about 5 days.
Yes, that's about right, especially during COVID, unfortunately. Well, taste it and tell us a little bit about what it smells and tastes like.
Right now, it smells like a campfire. It's a little oaky.
Is that a good thing?
I don't know. And it's a little watered down, but I do that on purpose. I put a little bit more water into the mix so the alcohol content isn't as high. So it's more refreshing. And yeah, I enjoy making wine. Now, you have a history of making wine.
It's not a good history. Not like your history. I think you're the one who got me into it. And I tried a while, and the wine tasted like campfire. Yeah.
It burnt your tongue.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. I had more success with beer, actually. I did brew beer for a while, and my wife Dorothy is a big fan of stout, and I got really good at that. But you know what the hard thing is with any of those things is the whole sterile field concept, don't you think?
That is, and I think, we talked about your winemaking, and I kept asking, are you sterilizing the carboys, and
Yeah,
not out there washing it in the farmyard or anything like that.
I think I washed it in the marsh,
and
that was
you got to
the
use
problem.
you got to use purified water
Right.
as a mix. So we'll have to try it again, but get together and do it. We'll spend 30 days together in quarantine and make some wine together. How about that?
Yes, you can have a wine school, a wine making school, and we'll all be in part of it. So you are currently living in an area south of the Low Country, right?
Yes, I'm coming to you from Sarasota, Florida.
Nice.
Where it's a little over 100 degrees right now. Too hot to be outside.
Well, at least you don't have wildfires. Could be worse.
That's right. That's true.
Oh my gosh. I heard it was 121 in Los Angeles recently.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, we have had a wonderful history together. We've performed together for many, many years, many orchestras. In fact, so many that I don't even know that I could count on my hands. How many?
Yeah.
Lots of orchestras.
Yes. Jacksonville, Lafayette, Owensboro, North Charleston, of course.
Yep, Altoona.
And
Yep.
we did a guest appearance or two maybe in Mazatlan, Mexico. You were so kind to take me along on that trip.
It was great. I remember that vividly because you were the only one that would go, because at the time the government said, don't go there.
I know.
Because this was when El Chapo and his whole thing was going on, and it was the Sinaloa cartel, and Sinaloa is the state that Mazatlan's in. So, and I remember someone telling us that one of the places we went for lunch was where they actually caught El Chapo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but that was quite an experience. I remember, didn't we go out kayaking and almost like get caught in the current and not make it back for the concert?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We went around this big rock island and something started to happen. And Dorothy was with us, and thank God she was with us, because otherwise we would have not made it back.
No, I know. She is very smart.
She kept saying, Rich, keep your back straight. Keep your back straight. Paddle through it. Paddle through it.
That's right. She was really cracking the whip. Make sure we get back to that concert on time. But we did have a really good time, and I remember we brought back some souvenirs. We brought back mocajetes. Remember?
Yes.
Do you ever use your mocajete?
I have not used it in a while, but it's on the shelf. And
it's on the shelf.
I mean, the thing weighs 20 pounds.
It does.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got that out of there in the bag. And but it, and what it is, in case people don't know what a mocajete is, it's one of those beautiful large urns that you can either make salsa in, or you can make, I don't know, queso or something.
You can cremate yourself and leave the remains in it if you want.
You pretty much could. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing to behold, and it looks like it's made out of like lava rock or something.
Yeah, Nick, I tried to take mine as a carry-on the airplane, and they wouldn't let me.
Oh no!
So, but fortunately, I had enough time, and I could go back, and I somehow was able to get it in my bag, so I could take it home. But yeah, I guess it's a projectile. I could crack a window or something with it.
You probably could. I mean,
Yeah.
the thing weighs, like you say, probably 20 pounds. It's
Yeah.
insane. So we've done a lot of things in a lot of fun places, and there are all kinds of great stories. I remember that time in Owensboro when I thought the concert was at 8 o'clock,
Yeah. I'll never
and you
forget it.
were.
Yeah, the concert started at 7:30, and help me with who the stage manager was at that
Oh,
time.
his name was Carl Davis.
Yeah,
He's been
Carl
with the
Davis.
symphony for like 50 years as stage manager.
He was very calm, and he was trying to call you backstage, and he just turned to me and said, "Rich, you're going to have to start the show. We can't hold it up." And I said, "Yeah, wait a minute. I can't start the show." And he says, "Yes, you can. Just go out there and count it off and go." And so I did, and fortunately, it was a big band show, so the kit player was driving the bus, right?
Yep.
And we started with Opus 1, and we finished the tune, and I'm looking out in the hall, and Nick, are you here? And I look
Yep.
backstage. Well, I guess Nick hasn't arrived yet, so we'll just keep moving the show along. But I know you'll have a warm welcome for him when he arrives. And we got through
Yep.
3 or 4 tunes, and you finally just nonchalantly walked on stage, and everybody applauded, thought it was great. And they thought we did that on purpose. They thought I was the warm-up act. And then you came on, and we made it, I mean, you were the star after that. It just,
And to this day, they still think that.
I mean, I was like Fogerty, and you were like Chicago.
There you go. There you go. Well, it was crazy because I don't remember. I think it was a concert. Maybe it was a concert with you in another city where, the concert started at 8 o'clock, which was pretty common. And for some bizarre reason, even though I'd been conducting this orchestra for many years, forgot that the concert started at 7:30. And I left my house at 7:30. I lived about 10 minutes away. And I just thought, I'll just show up and, it'll be fine. Everything's great. I have 20 minutes to put on my bow tie and everything. And when our stage manager called, I was in shock. But we did really turn that around, and people never knew.
They thought we did it on purpose.
They
thought it was planned.
They did.
Now, what were you contacted in the car as you were driving that the concert
Yes.
already started? Okay.
Yeah. That was a little bit scary. Yeah, those are those kind of crazy things that happen in concert. I remember one time I was conducting. It was a big piece, Tchaikovsky's Fourth Symphony, and it has a big finale. And at the very end, I turned around to bow, and my vest just fell to the floor as I bowed. That was the last time I wore a vest. And during this same concert, this was in an old theater. It was in Iowa. Pieces of the roof fell on some of the players. Nobody got hurt, but it was right in the middle of the pizzicato movement of the Tchaikovsky Fourth Symphony, which is very soft, so you could hear this stuff falling on the ground. So, yeah.
Well, with you and your diet, it's a good thing it wasn't your pants. You didn't lose your trousers.
Yes, it was definitely a good thing. So enough of this frivolity. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about your training. I know you went to one of those really prestigious music schools.
You don't want to really know about me.
No, I really do. Well, maybe I don't, but the people watching do.
Well, I went to the University of Michigan for my post-high school. That's where I learned. In high school, you're so protected, and you're a star in high school. I had a band, and I really didn't know what was outside of high school. But when you go to college, especially as a music student, suddenly you're face to face with all these other stars of their high school, their high schools, and it's just that was I just remember walking away thinking, wow, look at all the talented people here, But
isn't that crazy?
I know. It's like the world is much bigger than I thought, but we raised each other up. I mean, that was what's great about it. So I did my my BM. I hate that. I don't know why they call it a BM.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. Yeah.
I guess at least it's not a BS.
Yeah. Well, that's another good degree.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yes.
anyway, and it was in piano performance, and that's where I met my lovely wife, Stacy, and then I went to Juilliard in New York City. Somehow I fooled them, and I got in, and so I got my master's there. And Juilliard was a place where they were just so proud. They said everybody's going to have a concert career playing classical music, and that was, I found it to be so untrue. I played once in a while a classical work with an orchestra, maybe, a Beethoven concerto. And, I was forced to learn odd things at a conductor's request, like the Hindemith Four Temperaments. And
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's a work I've never gone back to play.
No.
But in my 30s, I started doing arrangements and went back to my pop's roots, because I had a band in high school. And so started creating pops concerts. And then I had a great career up until this virus started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Join the club.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about your band. What kind of music did you play when in high school?
How many instruments did I play?
No. What kind of music did you play?
Well, did we play? I started out in a 50s band. So we were doing a lot of sock hops and.
Oh, yeah.
I will send you a picture. You asked me for some pictures. I have a picture of myself standing on my head while playing the piano.
Oh my gosh.
And that was one of the bits that we did in Johnny Be Good. I would take a running, lunge. Is that the right word? I would lunge at the piano
Yeah.
and then go into standing on my head on the music rack. And people thought I was really playing, but I wasn't. I was just holding myself there. So 50s band, and then we went to the dark side, and we did some Dark Star and Def Leppard kind of
right
period, and then I got smart and I started a wedding reception band.
Oh yeah.
That entailed learning the waltzes and the cha-chas, and you had to know all the styles, which was good. And we raked in a lot of money playing every weekend. I was coming home from University of Michigan every weekend to play with the band, and it was a lot of fun. We even saw a few receptions where the bride left the groom at the reception, which was fun. Yeah, really fun to see. The whole everybody leaves. It's like everybody's upset. The bride left with another guy, and it's party's over.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
And I bet you had a really weird looking tuxedo, didn't you?
Oh yeah, they were yellow. They were
Yeah.
yellow, pastel blue.
Oh yeah.
The lapels were huge. Yeah.
I remember those. Yeah, I was in a wedding band myself, and we had these. I mean, they were like I always think they're either harvest gold or maroon or something.
Yeah.
Some weird color that doesn't exist anymore.
I just wish I would have hung on to those because
yeah, we could have a really fun 70s party or 70s concert.
Yeah. Now, were you singing? Were you singing in the bands you were in? Were you a singer?
No, I didn't sing. No, I couldn't see. It was too complicated to play the instrument and sing at the same time.
Yeah.
I didn't have the motor skills. How about you? Did you sing?
It was a challenge. Yeah. I could do some simple harmony here and there, but it had to be practiced, because to concentrate on playing the piano. It's like when I watch Elton John and how fluid he is with everything he's playing with the syncopations and singing, it's amazing.
Well, you do such a great job, and not only as a wonderfully talented performer on the piano, but also you're so funny. And we're going to have some clips. We're going to show some clips of some of our concerts together. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about your concerts with the Pops is your ability to interact with our Pops Kids chorus. And it just was hilarious. It so reminded me, and this would only be relevant to anybody who is a baby boomer or older, but remember the old show, Art Linkletter show, and he had that kids say the darndest things,
right?
And that's what it reminded me of. You would get down on their level and you would talk to these kids, and then they just really opened up to you.
Yes, they did.
Well, we have a very special treat coming up, Rich. Do you want to play some piano with our kids' choir?
Sure, I'd love to.
We have now coming out in just a moment, it's the Pops Kids Chorus under the direction of Rachel Massaro, and you did a nice little arrangement for them, too. Are you going to do Edelweiss? Oh, you like that one? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Welcome, Pops Kids. Oh, they're great. They're awesome. They've been performing all over town. They played, they did something for the Christmas parade in North Charleston this year.
Oh,
that was
did.
a big hit.
So this isn't the first time they've been on the stage?
No. They've done a lot of stuff.
Oh.
They perform all over town.
Good.
They're very famous.
Good. Please don't touch the piano. Don't touch the piano, please.
And they'd love to talk to you.
Would they?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
good. What's your name?
Mary.
Hi, Mary. What's your name?
Paulina.
Paulina. What's your favorite instrument?
Piano.
Very good choice. What's your name?
Izzy.
Sorry?
Izzy.
Izzy? Like in Izzy Pop? Izzy, what's your favorite thing to do besides singing this choir?
Playing outside.
Playing outside. Me too. That's a good answer. Let's skip down here. What's your name?
Zeta.
Zeta? Let's see. What's your favorite instrument?
A viola.
Viola. Did you hear that? The viola's finally get yes. You get your day. Why the viola? I'm curious.
Because I'm starting to play it today.
Isn't that great?
Oh, great.
And you know what's great is that all of these kids get what they deserve in life, and that is to experience music. Right? And what's your name?
July.
July? How do you spell that?
July.
You know what makes the world great?
No.
You do. All of you do. You make the world great. Thank you for being here. Okay, now a tough question. Let's see. We have Mary, who is how old?
4.
And how many months?
2.
And then who's the oldest one here? Besides me. Yes. And you?
Kira.
Kiera. And how old are you?
12.
So it's between 4 and 12 years old. And, okay, tough question. Who wrote the song that we're doing called I Love a Piano?
I have no idea. Irving Berlin.
Yeah, right, Irving Berlin. Here we go. I love a piano. North Carolina, Charleston, Pops Kids. Look at that, a standing ovation.
And I had a hard time understanding some of them because in the last concert we did, there was a little kid and I couldn't understand his name. And he'd say, Poca, or something like that. And, you know, I don't quite, it's that, I guess, Southern. What do you speak up there in Charleston? Is it called Southern?
Yeah, we speak Southern here.
Is that Southern?
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay. And, you know, and I finally figured out he was trying to tell me his name was Parker.
Right, that's right.
Parker. But
I remember Parker.
Yeah. So, you know, it's almost.
You had a lot of fun with Parker, as I recall.
I should have, you know, I think I asked him, I said, if you go to the market, what do you call it? And he said, the market. So that would put him up in Boston, actually, wouldn't it?
I know. It's just a weird, you know, low country accent. I don't know.
I think,
But
he ended up
adorable.
slugging me in the stomach, as I recall.
Yeah, there you go. There you
Really
go.
frustrating.
Well, we've had some great times, and when you perform with us, you performed not only the fun repertory and a lot of your arrangements, as you mentioned, that you did, you know, things like Pink Panther and Opus 1 and Brazil, and I mean, they're really, you know, world-class arrangements. But then you performed some great repertory, like, you know, the Gershwin Concerto. We did.
Oh, that's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Great piece, beautiful piece, and you know, and we've done Rhapsody in Blue together several times, and the Warsaw Concerto, which is a really solid piece, written for a movie.
A terrible
you know,
movie. It's called Dangerous Moonlight. It's if anybody really wants to see a sleeper of a movie, go out and rent Dangerous Moonlight.
Okay.
But
it's terrible.
It is. I mean,
But it has really good music.
But the music is what made the movie. Yeah. But the pianist, when he's playing, you know, and he's trying to write this new work that he's composing in the music, you know, when you're supposed to be playing on the top, you know, the range of the piano, he's actually playing in the bass. So they just didn't care. They just said, sit at the piano and just put your hands on the piano.
You know, one of my all-time favorite movie concerti is, of course, the Concerto for the Index Finger.
Yes.
And you forced me into playing that, and I don't really play the piano, but we had a heck of a good time with that. And I gotta say, you know, in contrast to Dangerous Moonlight, the recording of Grace Kelly performing that in the movie is really, really good. I mean, it's really well done.
Yeah, Gracie Allen.
I mean,
Right?
Gracie Allen, sorry.
Yeah, Gracie Allen. It's okay.
Not Grace Kelly. That was the one that hung out with
I didn't want to have somebody
George Burns.
check you and have to correct you, Maestro.
No, I know. My research people screwed up there.
Okay.
But that was so adorable. And I mean, she did such a great job.
And you found how difficult it was to actually play with one.
It is a really hard piece to do.
And it's hard for me too. And sometimes I have to sit at the piano and do it, and I mess up because it's really hard.
It is, and we did that piece together, you know, on occasion. But you know, speaking of that end of it, you are also a conductor. I mean, you have been the principal pop conductor in Dearborn, Michigan, and did some great programs there, and were beloved. I went up to guest conduct there a couple of years ago, and they just couldn't stop talking about you.
Well, thank you. I almost became a real conductor yesterday. Stacy and I went out to the ocean for the first time in a year, and we went swimming, and a bolt of lightning came down on the beach, and it almost hit me. So I would have been a real conductor then.
Not a semiconductor, but a real
Not a semiconductor, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm glad you survived that.
Conducting, I admire, I took to conducting late in my career, and I was actually asked when I played with the Florida Orchestra, the president asked me to come do a show. He used to be with the Elgin Symphony, and he said, would you come play and conduct? And oh my gosh, I had never played conduct before in my life, and I ended up doing it, but it's so hard. And musicians actually complained because I was conducting with my left hand.
Oh, okay. There you
trying
go.
to play with my right hand. And
Right.
then I would get the and because I was conducting with my left hand, the pattern was backwards. And that really annoyed the musicians.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's funny that with left-handed, there are very few left-handed conductors. Very, very, very few. It's kind of like left-handed string players. One time I remember going to, and it's rare, and you almost never see them in a major orchestra, but one time I went to see the New York City Opera, and there was a left-handed string player, and they had to sit by themselves, and of course their bow went the opposite way. But it's really weird how that is with conducting and string playing especially. Whereas certainly in sports, there's nothing. I mean, everybody's either, right-handed or left-handed. It's no big deal.
Yeah. But we play tennis, Stacy and I, and that is a hobby that we've taken up. We play maybe 3 or 4 days a week while we're in this COVID situation. And tennis was one of the first games to be allowed to open up after the lockdown. But playing with a lefty is a whole different game.
Right.
Because we play doubles, because then the lefty can take more of the shots, in the forehand if they're in the,
right
on the deuce side.
That's right.
That takes something to get used to.
Well, I'm glad to know that you do have a hobby. That's great. Yeah, but you do other things besides music. And there's one thing that we'll talk about now. You're a, shall we say, landlord?
Yeah, slumlord. You can say it.
Slumlord.
Yeah. You see the wine going in? Oh, yeah.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
So that, yes.
By the way, I have had that wine before, and it's really good. It tastes really good.
Yeah, again.
And I think
yeah.
I was just going to say, one of the things that's really nice about it is the lack of sulfites.
Right.
And sulfites can really cause issues for people who have allergies and asthma or whatever. And the fact that you don't add sulfites is makes the wine so pure. Right. Pure as a driven snow.
And, the whole reason why we started making our own wine is after a trip in Italy, Stacy tried some red wine at a restaurant and no headache. She had maybe 3 glasses of wine, no headache. And she asked the restaurant owner, what's with this wine? She said, well, we have a vineyard out back and we make it right here and there's no sulfites. It's absolutely, pure wine is the purest wine that you can get. And so I said, well, let's start making our own wine. And we did. No more headaches.
That's great.
Stacy anyway. Yeah.
That's great.
Sorry, I got off track.
You were talking about your landlording.
Yes. So back in when we were living in Jacksonville, and I think that's when we met you, because Stacy was the executive director of the Jacksonville Symphony. Is that about the right timing? Yes, we got to know your lovely family.
Yes, yes, that's about right.
And so the economy was not doing so well, and there were a lot of foreclosures on the market. So we started buying some of these foreclosures and fixing them up, and the rental business took off. So we still have those properties up in Jacksonville, and we have 5 of them here in Sarasota to take care of. And fortunately, everybody who's been our renter are still employed and doing well.
That's great.
Pandemic, yeah.
And that's a real hardship for so many people now.
It is.
And with COVID, and
we did have a realtor that was struggling a little bit, and we just said, that's fine, just we can wait, we'll get through this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, tell us, you've mentioned Stacy's name, and we had the pleasure of watching Stacy perform with you, and I wondered, when you met, were you both studying piano? Because she's a wonderful pianist.
Yes, we were both studying piano.
Okay.
And she's a better pianist than I am. I want you to know. Gracie. Here she comes in.
She's great.
Yeah, I was her accompanist in some of the competitions at school, but we ended up competing in a competition. I think I hear movement.
She might come in.
Yeah, she might come in.
The door is opening.
See if I get this story right.
I think she's coming in. She wants to be on camera.
Yeah, she's all dressed up for tennis. We're going to play tennis soon.
Oh, that's right. You are.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not keeping you from tennis, Stacy.
No, you're not. We're
Good.
fine. We got to wait for the temperature to go down. But we were in the same competition in my senior year at University of Michigan, and we both made it into the finals. I was playing the Rachmaninoff Paganini variations, and Stacy was playing Mozart what?
Oh,
Mozart
B flat,
B flat, concerto?
K595.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's a great piece. Wonderful.
And actually, my roommate, who was a pianist, Peter Slutzker, who went on to star in many Broadway shows, was playing the last movement of Concerto in F.
Oh, okay.
And so
Cool.
we were
There's the
a
three
tight
of
circle
us.
of friends, and
Mhm.
and I won, and I got to
Nice.
play at Hill Auditorium. But I really felt that Stacy should have won.
Did that cause any relationship strife?
You know, that was pre-relationship.
Oh, okay. I get it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you still were able to have a relationship after that.
Afterwards.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's impressive right there.
Yeah, I was able to win her heart. There was something about that red dress that she wore when she was competing.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
know.
the red dress always comes up.
Now, I know that you have video, Maestro, of us playing America.
We do. And that was...
Stacy's- Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say you did a beautiful arrangement of that
Thank you.
for you and Stacy. And it's not just virtuosic. It's also comic
It is.
Yes, it
in
is.
spots. Yeah. I remember you sat on the piano a couple of times.
Yes, I
Great.
did. Yes, just for effect.
That started off a long time ago as an arrangement for piano 6 hands. That
Oh, dear.
We did with Brandon.
Yeah.
But I was in the middle between the two guys. And then Brandon went off to New York, and then
And we haven't talked about...
He had to rearrange it for...
You had to rearrange it. Now, since Stacy's there, you can both talk about your two very, very talented sons who have talents in different areas and are neat guys.
Yes, our oldest son, Brandon, I gave him my trumpet when he was in high school because I could never get it to work quite right. I played trumpet in high school, and I always thought it was broken. I mean, to get a double high C was a challenge for me. And Brandon took right off on it, and I was dumbfounded. I swore there was something wrong with the trumpet, and he ended up being the youngest member ever to join Canadian Brass when he was how old?
20?
21 maybe. He was at Juilliard. So he went to Juilliard right out of high school, and I can't remember, he was out west someplace at a school, and that's where he met the group, Canadian Brass, and they asked him to play with them a couple times. And Chuck was really good to allow Brandon to finish his schooling before they put him on full time.
And for those people in the audience that don't know about the Canadian Brass, they perform all over the world. It's probably the most famous brass quintet in the world. And for Brandon to have had that opportunity, that's pretty major. That's huge.
Yeah, it was a huge opportunity. I'm not sure he knew what hit him.
Yeah.
He was also, because of his contacts at Juilliard, he was working with Marvin Hamlish. He was doing shows with him frequently. And, we would be out on the road and we'd do some gigs, and I would say, "Who are you talking to?" And he said, "Well, it was Marvin." I said, "Marvin who?" And he said, "Marvin Hamlish." And I thought he was kidding me. I thought he was pulling my leg.
He did the Kennedy Center Gala a couple years.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Marvin would invite him over to his apartment to work out, what they were going to do for the gala.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Wow. That's
And our younger son, he went into aviation which surprised both of us. He also was a musician. He played drums, and we had a family band.
Yeah.
And we can
Nice.
send you a picture of our group. We had fun with it.
Oh, we'd love to see that.
And but he, it was interesting that every time he flew as a child, he'd throw up.
Oh, goodness.
He was on a flyer,
He
but
didn't like-
he didn't like it. But he somehow something happened with all the video games flying. He overcame it, and he before the COVID came, he was flying internationally for United on the 757s and 767s.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that he was flying at that level. That's really impressive.
Big birds, yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations, parents.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You've done really well with those two guys. They're really amazing.
That's the biggest job in the world.
Isn't it?
Big job.
It
It's
is.
an important one.
I know.
And
I
you-
remember.
Yeah, with your boys. Yep.
And it's never over.
No, it never is. Every day there's something new, even when they're, grown up.
Do they still call you to ask for
Money?
advice? Or do they call
He's laughing.
What?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, they do, which is great. No, I really appreciate that when they do, yeah, it's great. We have something called Palmer Chat, and it's a chat that we're all involved in, and we're there all day, telling each other what we're doing, sending funny things, and it's great. And so, yeah, and it's great when your son calls and asks for advice. And I know you probably feel a lot of pride when that happens in your household.
Actually, I don't even know how to answer some of the questions.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, especially now. It's really hard to know how to guide the next generation right now.
It is. It is.
Because we've never been through it, so.
Yeah, I know. It's just, it's a bold new world, and who knows where it's going to go from here, but.
Right. Well, and some people are reinventing themselves, like Ross. He's been furloughed from United, but he has been working. Am I allowed to say this? I think that's okay.
Yeah.
He's been working for Amazon. So he's been sorting packages for Amazon just so he can keep busy and working. And so he calls us up and he says, okay, well, I'm going to be really furloughed at the end of September. Should I take unemployment or should I keep working at Amazon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we dealt with that with two of ours, and absolutely. And, that's the way it is right now.
John.
Well, I don't want to hold up your tennis game any longer. I know Stacy's raring to go.
I'll leave you to finish.
All right, sounds good. Thanks
Go
for
practice your swing.
Huh?
I told Stacy to go practice her swing.
Yeah, she's already doing that.
Yeah.
It's like she's doing the conductor exercise,
Yeah.
That's good. Well, Rich, it's always a pleasure to talk with you, and it's always a pleasure to see you and to share a beverage with you as well, like we've done several times. And I really look forward to the opportunity to performing again together one of these days when things are, when we can. So let's look forward to that. Yes.
And I appreciate the friendship that we've had over the years, Nick, and it's been my observation that everybody is your friend that you work with.
Oh.
They do. Everybody loves you. I mean, you have these orchestra parties. I mean, who's not going to love a maestro who has everybody over, to his house? Your wonderful Dorothy sets everything up. She bakes all day long.
I'm just bribing him, But yeah, that's very kind of you to say. Yeah. Well, we have always enjoyed the great relationships and that's one of the things that's really special about the North Charleston Pops is that we have this really nice camaraderie where there's, and it's not always the case when the players trust the staff and the administration and they trust the technical people and we all work together. And when that happens, it's a really nice thing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again. Always a pleasure. Enjoy your tennis game. And we will be back together soon.
I hope so. Sooner than later. And cheers to
Cheers
everyone.
to you. Absolutely.
And to Tacy. Tacy, thank you for all the great videos.
Yes, Tacy. Tacy is our video
production
editor as well.
That's right. Chief editor in chief. Yes.
There you are. Here's
Look,
to Tacy.
I've already had too much to drink, so it's time to sign off.
All right. Thanks again, Rich.
Thank you.
And
Be well. Bye-bye.
So thanks everybody for being a part of Happy Hour with the Maestro, and to our special guest, Rich Ridenour. And we look forward to seeing you again next Thursday at 5. Thank you.